Time traveling is an interesting thing, isn't it? You could skip building upgrades, bridge creations, and shop refreshes, but is there an optimal way to go about it? Where do we strike that perfect balance where we're doing everything important for the day and move on to the next without spending too much time on the things that don't matter? What is the best way to time travel in Animal Crossing? If you are looking to find how to time travel, I have a video covering that in the description too. My method should save you a little bit of time. So for starters, let's get the finite resources out of the way first. I think that after you've traveled enough, you eventually get sick of picking every fruit, cutting every tree, and picking up every weed. So what should we keep doing? Stones. The obvious answer is stones. There are only so many stones on an island, 7 I believe, and a lot of your future crafts are going to rely on you having tons of stone, iron, and even gold ingots. So every single time you time travel, collect all the stones on your island. Second thing, which I think is the most important thing to do, is interest. Make sure you have a few million bells in the bank, and make sure each time you time travel, it's long enough to net you 99,000 bells. This is one of the fastest ways to make bells to begin with, so if you're going to be doing lots of time traveling, you might as well. If you're worried about time traveling too far into the future due to negative consequences, make sure you watch my Why You Shouldn't Time Travel video. Links in the description for that as well. That way you know what you're walking into. Now that we got that out of the way, I recommend you check the beach next. You don't have to pick up everything. Since this is the best way to time travel, it should only be the most important things. So pick up the message in a bottle. You'll thank me later. Every single time travel, you get a new DIY recipe, and eventually you're going to want those recipes because the majority of your normal outdoor furniture comes from crafts, not the shop. Speaking of the shop, make sure you're checking those too. I would be checking the Nook shop and the clothing shop if you have it every single time and buy everything you don't already have. This is including Kix as well if he shows up. At least that's what I do. Because you never know when you're going to need a piece of furniture, and you likely won't be able to get it again for a long while. And since you're making 99k bells every time travel anyways, you should have no problem buying anything you see. Since we're on the topic of bells, I only suggest upgrading your home as you run out of storage space, because you want those bells to get as high as you can so upgrading your home doesn't mess up your interest rate in the bank. If you're approaching the building movement / bridge building phase of development, you could throw in the odd movement or upgrade as you time travel too. Keep in mind you could actually move a building and a bridge at the same time every day. Ultimately, there's a lot to do when you time travel like this. So it's about striking a perfect balance of what you should do versus what you could do. Using this strategy, I had my entire island done in 3 days. Links in the description for that too. Ultimately, you do things the way you want, and depending on how far you are, you may have different priorities. But from someone who's time traveled thousands of years already, you eventually narrow down your focus on the things that matter the most. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification so you don't miss any future uploads. I'll be posting Animal Crossing info and guides every day until I run out of things to say. My channel is all about giving you the tools you need to play like you never thought possible. See you in the next one.